Every year, the NHL faithful hold out hope that this will be the time when EA finally gets it together and delivers on the series' full potential. Only to then spend dozens of hours playing a game that is almost fundamentally the same as last year. There are rare exceptions to this. Even though NHL 24 had plenty of issues, the sustained pressure system and exhaustion engine at least added something new to the overall gameplay. Going back further, NHL 21's Be a Pro mode has become a staple since its introduction. Unfortunately, NHL 25 isn't one of those exceptions. Despite an overhauled franchise mode and updated AI, this ultimately just feels like a shinier version of last year's entry. It's clear right from the start that NHL 25 is the first game in this series built exclusively for current-gen consoles, at least on the surface. The graphics are sharp and the action on the ice looks better than ever. Animations are smoother and it's satisfying to see how much wear and tear is put on the ice. We haven't fully escaped the uncanny valley, but players now look much more like actual humans and less like animatronics, so zoom-ins on faces no longer provide as much nightmare fuel. Those visual improvements even extend to the menus in franchise mode, which is the only mode that's seen any meaningful changes this year. A quick revisit to the franchise mode from NHL 24 clearly shows how far it's come, with specific stats now displayed front and center, preventing the need to constantly hop around menus. It's immediately noticeable how much sleeker the redesigned hub is, and how it makes things easier to parse. There have been actual gameplay additions to franchise as well. For example, GMs must now convince free agents to sign with their team if the player's interest in the organization is too low. You might be forced to work for the players you want, making things much more interesting. How you'll go about doing that is up to you. Maybe it's by promising to let a prospect play on the first line, or by offering a higher salary and agreeing to their requested length of contract. Alternatively, you can attempt to charm them into signing, but if that fails, it might kill their interest in your offer entirely. Players can even negotiate no movement or no trade clauses into their contracts, which is a very welcome feature the NHL player base has been requesting for a while now. The new conversation system will give you just a bit more control over your organization in a nice way too. Still, it's not entirely clear just how much impact some of your choices actually have outside of contract negotiations. These additions will no doubt be appreciated by those who spend most of their time being the GM of their dreams, but for such a highlighted feature of this year's entry, they aren't so impactful that they'll convince people who generally just want to get out on the ice to take a closer look either. So, what about the modes outside of franchise? Well, if you're wondering how Be a Pro is different this time around, it's not. Even the intro cinematics are the same as last year, which is doubly bad because this exact same problem was present in 2023. The entire mode just seems shoehorned into each installment with the bare minimum of care or attention. Be a Pro constantly getting snubbed is a gigantic bummer. It would be nice to have a real campaign with an actual story, like in 2K's NBA series. Instead, its cutscenes are just silent text bubble exchanges with stilted writing and boring dialogue choices. It's like dealing with those annoying mobile game ads in between hockey matches. Yet again, Be a Pro just manages to be a bore. In addition to the returning sustained pressure and exhaust engine mechanics, NHL 25 does add a feature called next-gen vision control while you're on the ice, which gives you more precision in how you play based on the given situation. If you hold down the left trigger and you have the puck, for example, you'll align with the net as your target. If you do it while on defense, you'll automatically face the puck instead, which can help with things like poke checking. Vision control can be useful at times, but it's never really explained how to use it properly, and it never felt so impactful that you really need to rely on it. That's disappointing when it's the only significant mechanical change to the on-ice action. to be fair, how to do anything properly isn't really explained because this is the 4th year in a row without a training mode. Why it was removed after NHL 21 is a mystery. New players hoping to learn how to play are out of luck unless they constantly pause the action to check the controls, but those controls are paired with an overwhelming list of moves that probably aren't going to make any sense to them in the first place. Not to mention, opening the menus kills any moment-to-moment momentum on the ice because they're so sluggish to navigate. As far as the online modes are concerned, there's a new wildcard option in Hockey Ultimate Team that gives you a salary cap, and then has you draft a team under specific restrictions that change over multiple seasons. The idea of wildcard providing a way to keep things feeling fresh while challenging players at the same time is nice. That said, it's unlikely to draw in anyone who doesn't already engage with HUT each year. More notably than just the addition of wildcard, progression in all HUT modes has merged into one singular HUT Battle Pass. It's a simple but welcome change as it keeps progression unified. And of course, you can still buy premium card packs in HUT with microtransactions, thanks to the in-game currency, NHL points. As always, you don't technically need to purchase any of these packs to play the HUT modes, but it's undeniable that doing so gives you higher odds of getting better players for your team. It lends the whole thing its usual pay-to-win stench that could turn you away from the mode entirely. NHL points can also be used in World of Chell, which has basically not changed at all this year. They can be spent on premium battle passes, cosmetics, or to instantly unlock unique character classes, instead of having to grind for them, which feels similarly skeezy. Bundles of NHL points sell from anywhere between $2.49 to a whopping $149.99. That may be labeled as the best value of the bunch, but it's hard not to believe that doesn't mean best for EA, not the players purchasing it. There's no denying that the action on the ice looks better than ever in NHL 25, and it's nice to see franchise mode get some welcome changes to add authenticity for lovers of the mode. But this year's iteration is quite lackluster as a whole, and feels like more of the same as last year, yet again. For being the first NHL game available exclusively on current-gen consoles, it's a shame that NHL 25 is still stuck in the same last-gen rut. For more sports games, check out our reviews of Undisputed or EA Sports FC 25. And for everything else, stick with IGN.